I did all that and I still screwed it up because I left this microphone on and I was wondering, I said I had all these levels set and I looked over and I'm like, oh, that other microphone's on. And I worked so hard on getting this new sound. So it probably sounded awful. So let me fix it real quick. I'm going to put my headphones on and we're going to get you a better idea of my new program that I've been working on. Get my headphones on here and I'm going to turn the volume off on the PA system because it's actually coming out of my control room monitors. So let me turn that off. Now let's try that again with no control room monitors and without this. Well, actually I could leave this mic on now because it won't be coming through the control monitors, but it's probably not going to be very loud. And there we go. I think I have too much, I put a lot of sweep in the delay. I think I have too much sweep in the delay. Let me get the chat up and running here, guys, so I can actually see what you guys are talking about.
Nicholas wants to know if the Kramer is your go-to guitar.
Is the what?
Is the Kramer your go-to guitar?
Actually, I do like Kramers. I won't say they're my go-to guitar. Well, I guess they are now. Because I really like my Night Swan, but I got to put new strings on it. And the Beretta, it's just a kill, excuse my French, A55. The Beretta's a kick butt guitar. I've got an Assault in here that just screams. I like Kramers. I think they're a great bang for the buck. They are going up. Now you can get a Kramer, $850 to $1,200. and they come with Seymour Duncan pickups, a Floyd Rose 1000, great tuners. They're just solid instruments. The Beretta probably isn't as versatile as the Assault, and the Assault has been sold, so that's off the market. But the Assault is a more versatile guitar because it has two pickups. Now my Night Swan has two pickups, but the other pickup is right here, so it's not quite as versatile as the Assault. But I like their guitars. They make good guitars. I like the tremolo. I'm a tremolo guy. I do have a Fender FMT. I love playing. I love playing my little Squire Nashville Telly. I love that thing. But neither one of those guitars have tremolos. I mean, I can play my FFN, but you know, this guitar, the Seymour Duncan JB, it just has that sound. It's I mean, to me, they just scream. There's nothing fancy about this guitar. There's nothing fancy about the Assault as far as the individual parts. They've just got it down. You know, Kramer's been building this guitar. They've been building the Assault. They've been building the Night Swan. Been building those guitars for 15 years. So they've got all the little issues down. Just like when you first build a guitar, there are certain sweet spots for the pickups. Okay, to get that. Moving this pickup a 16th of an inch, an eighth of an inch this way, back and forth, it drastically affects the pick harmonics. They've done it, they've moved it around, they've figured out that this is just the best spot that makes the Kramer Beretta a Kramer Beretta, if that makes sense. I'm sure there's other guitars on the market that do what this guitar does, but the Beretta was something in the 80s when it come out. I wanted one, and they were, you know, $1,500-$1,600 back then. Now you can get this particular Beretta for about $850, somewhere in that ballpark. I've seen them go on sale for, you know, $7. Don't usually see that too much anymore, but I do see them sometimes go on sale for $7. But it's a strip guitar. It's just a volume, one pickup, a tremolo. You know, it's their simplest guitar. Where the Assault, you know, it's got push-pull knobs. It's got two humbuckers. It's got a flame top on it, like a burst. More attention to detail, if that makes sense. It's a more dressy guitar. It's got binding on it. This guitar, there's no binding on the neck. There's no binding on the guitar. It's just a basic shred guitar. Yeah, but I love Kramer's. You see, I've got a lot of what they call phase shift in this. I think I put a little too much in it. I think I got a little too much in it. It's nice to have a little stereo sweep, but I think I put too much in it. But I do like the new sound. I worked on it for about an hour tonight. Okay, I'm done embarrassing myself. I'm gonna put this thing up. I love to play, guys. So if I make stupid faces and I act like a retard when I'm playing, I'm having fun doing it. So that's all that counts. Let me get these ear muffins off. If you read the title of tonight's stream, I want to talk about music stores. Sorry, I just hit my camera trying to get my headphones over. I'm going to actually unplug them. I don't know if you all heard, over in Europe, there was two very large music stores that just shut down. Been seeing that a lot as far as channels talking about it. I think one was like AG or AGK or something, and another one. They were very large music stores. So now pretty much, you got Sweetwater, you got Tolman, you got Anderson, Guitar Center, Guitar. I guess they're not even really local music stores. That's the thing. These are really, really large music stores. And I know you guys have heard me talk about it. I try to support my local store. My local store is Shenandoah Music. Now, we do have other stores. I do go down to Guitar Center in Manassas sometimes. It's not local to me. Well, it's not actually Manassas. It'll actually be Fairfax, Virginia. So it's about 45 minutes away. But really, those are the only... There is one in Harrisonburg, which is about an hour away. And I bought tubes for my power amp down there. And I walked in and, I just happened to ask the guy. I said, man, you got any 6L6 tubes? And he goes, yeah, I do. I said, you got 4 that are matched? And he's like, by chance I do. And were they a little pricey? Yeah. I could have probably saved some money going on Amazon and getting GTs or, something other, on Amazon, or going to Sweetwater or somewhere else. But the local store had it, so I bought them. Now, at Shenandoah Music, they don't really stock tubes, So if I blow a tube and I want to go somewhere and get a tube that day, that's the issue. So when he said he had them, I don't want that merchandise to sit there. I want to say, hey, people do come in and just buy tubes. So I purchased the 6L6 from him. Hopefully, when I picked up those 6L6s, he called his vendor and they ordered more to replace and rotate the stock. But these big stores, I get, a lot of times it's customer service, it's price. it's a lot of different things that drive people. You know, I heard that one store, AGK or whatever it was over in Europe, they claimed the one, it was a little messy inside, old carpets and kind of run down, and the place was looking kind of disorganized. But they had a really big online presence. Um, Now you pretty much, for the UK, I guess Anderson's or PMT will take up the slack of those other two large stores. So I don't know if Anderson's is going woohoo, because I think the one did 30 million last year, and then the other store did 70 million. So you're looking at like, yeah, $1 billion or $100 million. That's a lot of money. So if you divide that up between Anderson's and PMT, you know, that's a lot of turned over inventory. Now, did they make that? No. They made, you know, those big stores, so they're making 20%, 15%, you know, because their prices are so low. They might be doing 30. Okay, so at 30% of a million, just 1 million would be 300,000. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah, it'd be 30%, I think. Yeah, 30%. So, I mean, that's a huge chunk of change. So does Anderson's pick up the slack in PMT? Or did they look at it and go, why did these businesses go under? And why is the music industry stores dying? Is it because I mean, look at most of the people in this group. I'm not saying that we're old. I mean, I always say I've got a bad case of OLD, but is it something like guitar? Is guitar something that's fading out, and younger people aren't moved to learn the guitar, moved to learn keyboards, moved to learn drums? I mean, I'm thinking back when I was in high school. You know, people talk about how big it was. Well, there was probably, I don't know, 400 kids in my graduating class, pretty big class. And I would probably say there might have been 10, maybe 15 kids that played guitar. So a couple kids played piano. Very, very few people, well, I think 2 played bass. There was a couple drummers, but they were more stage band type drummers, played rotor toms. They didn't really know how to play a full set. So maybe that's contributing. Maybe it's an older generation, and in the sales marketing there's a shift. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. Linnell hasn't hollered in saying that you all have made a comment towards it. I don't know how you all feel about these large stores going under. In the United States, we have Sweetwater, we have Musician's Friend, we have Guitar Center, we have AMS. What's some other big ones? I would say Sweetwater is probably the largest of all of them. You know, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it, but those companies sold a lot of product. So did they just not make any money? Or I don't know if y'all remember a guitar place called Mars. It was called Mars Music. And Mars Music, their whole thing, they put one in the city, and it was literally the size of a Walmart. I mean, it was a freaking huge store. They literally had a concert stage in the center of the store and seating, and the store went around that. They had a drum section, but what ended up happening to them, they were getting all this product in from Fender, Gibson, Chevelle, Jackson, you know, all these different, and they wasn't paying their bills.
Devastator said, speaking of drummers, did you hear Shannon and Tony left Godsmack?
I did not. But if Shannon Larkin left Godsmack, I mean, I haven't seen Shannon in a long time. Personally, I haven't seen Shannon in probably 30 years. Last time I saw Shannon's sister was probably 10 years ago. So I'm kind of out of touch with the Larkins, and you know I don't really know. I'm sure if he left, he's either going to retire or they're going to start their own little thing. You also got to think Godsmack really hasn't been pushing too much stuff lately. So maybe they just felt that they would sow their oats in a different direction.
Renee says, do you remember Pink Guitars in Centerville, Virginia?
Pink Guitars. I do not remember that. The big stores that I used to shop at, I shopped at Veneman's. They're in Springfield. And of course, Mars went in basically 3 blocks away from Veneman's. And then I also shopped at Rolls Music in Falls Church. And there was a place in Manassas called Music Outlet. It was right off the interstate. You could see it from the interstate. But you had to get off the exit and go all the way around the industrial park to get to it. I'm pretty sure it was Music Outlet.
Jerry said he went to the closest music store to him yesterday for strings. He said for a string, it's all I could afford there.
For a string, all I could afford there. Yeah. The thing of your local music store, yeah, we're going to pay more for the product, but there's still something to be said about having that local music store. And I'm facing a dilemma right now. I think you guys know I have a guitar on layaway at my local music store, Shenandoah Music. And I didn't even price check it. I went in, it's a Yamaha Revstar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bright yellow, green yellow Revstar, and the asking price was $549. So I went ahead and put it on layaway. That evening, I went home and just happened to get on Sweetwater. Sweetwater has that guitar for $479. I mean that's a substantial price difference. Yeah, I mean, I've almost thought about going in and saying, look, guys, I don't care if you make a little bit more money, 20, 30 bucks, on a product, and it's worth me being able to come in and play it. But when you get into the $70 and $80 difference, that's a bit much on a $500 guitar. Now, if it was $1,000 guitar and you're paying 80 more, do you see what I mean? It's relative by its price. But at a $500 price point, to pay $75 or $80 more, I'm still struggling with it. And I don't think I'm going to say anything because I want my local store to make it. And I like being able to go down if I need a set of strings or if I need a cable or a new microphone to help the live stream. That's where this microphone come from. And they work with me. Let's say I don't have the money right now. If I go in and I say, look, guys, this is an expensive purchase, and their layaway period is 3 months, they know me in there. So they'll let me, if I say, look, I can't pay it off in 3 months, they'll let me go 5, 6 months and make payments on it because they know me. I can't do that at Sweetwater. Sweetwater doesn't know me. I'm a number on the screen. When the sales associate answers, they see my purchase history. Oh, he's bought X in a couple years. We'll give you 10% off. But when it comes to, well, I know you're supposed to pay it off in 60 days. We'll go 120 for you. That salesperson really can't extend that courtesy to you because he's just a salesman. When you go into your local store, mom and pops like Shenandoah Music, I'm talking to the owner, and the owner can make that call. He can go, okay, I'll extend the layaway for you so you can purchase the product. That all goes away once we lose those type shops, guys.
Jackie just bought a Gibson Les Paul Jr. double cut at their local music store.
I like the double cut. I have a double cut downstairs I'm working on. It's a Firefly. I started a video series on it, and the last video on the FFDC, that's exactly where that guitar is. I hung it on one of the racks down in the shop to get to it later, and it's still on the rack. I think the fret leveling's done. I think all the fret work and stuff like that's done on the guitar. I still need to install the new pickups and do a slight repair on the headstock. It's got a blemish right here. It's like a little chip where the clear coat isn't quite right. So I'm going to try to sand that clear coat off the binding and reapply it. When I bought the guitar, it was like $179. So, and it's a flat. It's what they call a slab top double cut. I was actually just looking at double cuts the other night, man. Maybe it was last night. Gibson made an arch top, like a studio double cut Les Paul with P90s, and it was on Reverb, and there was one on Reverb. They wanted like $5,800 for it. It's like a 2008, something like that. Yeah, I don't know if these Gibson still makes the double cut arch top with P90s or not. But that's another dream guitar of mine. Everyone knows that I want a Gibson Les Paul with P90s.
Renee said mushroom guitar in Alexandria back in the 90s.
Where was this, hon?
It's Renee's comment. It said mushroom guitar in Alexandria back in the 90s.
Mushroom guitar in Alexandria. I never went to that store. I'm sure there was other good stores down there. Like I said, I dealt with Rolls, and they were more of a recording place. They sold a lot of reel-to-reel, ADAT, live sound reinforcement, rack mount. A lot of my rack mount gear come from Rolls Music. And then Venomans, which was more of a guitar and amp type store. Those were the two places. And then when Mars come in, I shopped at Mars for a little bit. But that was it.
With the P90s, Avery, I don't know if he's talking about the guitar you have downstairs you were working on or not.
Jerry, yeah, I like P90s, Jerry. There's something about a P90 loaded guitar.
He's asking.
Yeah, I'm putting the guitar downstairs has P90s in it. And I ordered some of Dylan Talk Tone P90s. Believe me, the Dylan pickups are phenomenal. His P90 pickup I think it's the best P90 pickup money can buy. Unless you get like the Seymour Duncan P90 with a single hot rail. It's a single bar. It makes it, that's a pretty cool, I forget what that thing's called. But that's a cool pickup. But I ordered two of the Dylan pickups for it. And I've got some Barnes pots to put in it. Of course, a Pure Tone jack. And I've already dressed the frets very flat. So the frets aren't a real tall fret on the guitar anyway, but I dressed a very high radius crown, and I eased the fingerboard on it. So I still got to fix the chip. But whenever I finish that guitar, it's going to be a player. I've got a nice bridge for it. It's going to be a sweet guitar. Yeah, I like P90s. I think P90s, they have a lot more oomph than a standard single coil. They're not humbuckers and they're not single coils. They're P90s. They have a really unique sound. I personally like them. I like a P90. I'm trying to think if I got a guitar with P90s in it that I could play. I got a gold top Les Paul in here with P90s, but the strings are dead, and Yeah, strings are dead. And then, of course, the guitar downstairs is torn apart, so I can't do anything with that. Never thought I'd like a guitar with a soap bar and a P90s, but yeah, Jackie. I mean, P90s rip. They do. They're awesome pickups. I mean, that's an awesome pickup. I'm trying to. I don't have a P90 loaded guitar. I would go get one. Everybody needs a P90 guitar. It just has a different sound to it. It's like a single coil. You should have a guitar with single coils on it. You should have a guitar with humbuckers on it. You really should. If you're gonna do a P90 guitar, make it something different. You know, it's a different pickup. Make it something different other than what you already have. That way you go for that guitar for that, for that feeling or that sound. It's more than the pickups. Find a genre that you like. You know, pick the artist, kind of see what they're doing, whether it's a Tele or a Les Paul or a double cut or something like that, and get yourself a P90 and rock that style of music. That's why I got the hollow body. I love certain kinds of music. A hollow body is just the thing. The Nashville Strat. It's a $300 Stratocaster, but it has a sound, and it makes that sound for that particular kind of music, and nothing sounds like that other than that. So I bought one. That guitar will stay, and when it does go, nicer version would replace it. Although like I said, I like the pickups that are in it. I think it does what it does well.
Jerry said, that's what sells me on the shape shifters since you can get close to P90 sounds out of a single coil.
Yeah, there's a couple pickups that have modes that'll go into it, and there are single coils that they've overwhelmed that almost do the P90 thing. The reason a P90 sounds different is the way the pickups are located the magnets are located in the pickups. So even if you overwind a single coil, the way the magnets and the poles are set up, it's just a different configuration pickup. It's almost like the foil pickups. The foil humbuckers, it's like a P90 with one magnet missing, because you've got the poles, magnet, poles, magnet, instead of magnet, poles, magnet. They just removed one magnet and slapped half the other P90 up against it and then put a foil. Well, it's an underwound P90 basically. And that's kind of like a foil. I mean, that's a real generic way of viewing it, but it's very similar to that type pickup design. Hey, Niles, what's up? And we got Dean that joined the group. Yeah, so I don't know what you all feel about what's going on. I ordered from pretty much everybody. That was my point. And I can't support everybody, but I've ordered from Sweetwater. I've ordered from Guitar Center. Well, I've ordered from Guitar Center, and I've bought at my local Guitar Center, and of course my local music store too. It's just we need to think about that. And I'm saving money right now for an Axe-Fx, and Axe-Fx is direct to consumer. They don't have vendors, so there's no sense in me calling Sweetwater. There's no sense in me calling Shenandoah Music, Guitar Center. They can't sell Axe-Fx. It's direct to public. So in that case, I guess that's keeping the cost down. Or they're saving that extra loss of income, that other 20-25%, and putting it in their pocket. Whichever way you want to look at it.
Juke says, I've never played P90s. Now I got to see what all the hype is about.
Yeah, if you're used to humbuckers, they're going to sound a little thinner. So, but if you're used to single coils, they're going to hit harder and be fuller. So, a lot of people say you can take a humbucker and you can put an EQ pedal between the guitar and the amp, and a lot of times you can EQ things and get pretty close to a certain sound. Now, a lot of people don't want to tell you that, but a secret weapon: go guitar, EQ pedal into your amp. You can do so much tone shaping with a EQ pedal. You can. I'm not saying you can get it to sound perfect, but you can make a single coil sound like a humbucker, and you can make a humbucker kind of sound like a single coil. You can. Is it a perfect match? No, it's not. It really isn't. But you can fool 80% of the people, and you can get in the ballpark of tone, if that makes sense. And a lot of people do it. A lot of people have their working guitar and have an EQ pedal, and even in your effects chain, these new modelers, you got a 10-band EQ that's designed for guitar, that's in that limited range. You can scope that channel, that effects block, to give you that sound.
Kurt said back in the day, all I used for music stores was AMS.
What's this, Kurt?
Kurt, he said back in the day, all I used for music stores was AMS.
Oh yeah, AMS. That's a company, Kurt, that I have not ordered anything from. Is AMS. I should probably order something from them just to check them out. I've never ordered anything from them. That's the one place that I haven't. I've pretty much ordered from everyone else. I haven't ordered from them. So we got Blue Hawks. Yes, 2 EQ pedals for me, one per one in the effects loop. EQ pedals do a lot. And it's something that I've never put between the guitar and my rack. But I do have 2 EQs in my rack. I just can't EQ preamp. I'm going right into the preamp. And there are some advantages to having that EQ before going into the preamp. So I've never been able to do that. I could do post and pre effects and the second gain stage. I can do that. But I can't go before the first AX7 stage, if that makes sense. So maybe one day I'll putter around with. I do have a rack mount EQ. It's a little overkill because it's full band pass, but I could plug the guitar into that and then go into it, and I could play around with it. Yeah, I know the Axe effects. It's probably going to take me at least 5 or 6 months. I could probably do it faster if dummy here, this dummy right here, wouldn't have went ahead and put another guitar on layaway. If I wouldn't have done that, I probably could have went and got it maybe a month earlier, month and a half earlier. But I like that Yamaha RevStar. And my plan, believe it or not, was to put those Seymour Duncan P-rails on it. And that's what it's, P-rails. It's a P90 pickup with a single coil single rail. If you look at their single coil humbucker, it's 2 single rails slapped together. Well, they took a single rail, which is half of the humbucker single, and they slid it next to the P90. And it makes it a full-size humbucker size, but you got the P90 coil, and then you got the single rail. So you can do single rail or P90, or you can do humbucker. Or you can set it up, like since there's a neck and a bridge, you can do single rail P90 neck, or 50,000 different combinations you can do with it. It's amazing. So I actually wanted to put those pickups in the RevStar for my P90 fix. And that would still be much cheaper than me going out and buying a Gibson Les Paul. And it's technically a double cut, so it kind of does the itch for the double cut guitar and actually fixes the itch for the good P90 You know, we'll see. I don't think, I don't, when you want something, you want something. And the Gibson Les Paul was something I've always kind of wanted. And I do have a good one. It's not a Gibson, it's an Epiphone. But I do have an Epiphone Alex license, and it's a great guitar. I actually should play that guitar more. The issue is that guitar is just so pretty. The top on it's so pretty. It's like my Kramer Assault. The damn thing's so pretty you don't want to put a scratch on it. That's why I play the plain Jane one. I mean, this is pretty plain Jane. But it's not, I'm not saying it's ugly, but it doesn't have a flame maple top on it like the Assault and the Alex license where it just gleams at you because it's so pretty. You know, until you put the first couple marks on a guitar, you're like stupid careful with it. But once you get a couple battle scars on it, you're like, it's okay, it's character. But when it's new, you're like, oh my gosh, I put a scratch on my new guitar. I've ruined it. I've destroyed my. But after you put a couple dings on it, a couple nicks on it, you're kind of like, oh man, look, it's got character. It's funny how we kind of, our brains are just wired a little funny like that. So,
to know if have you ever had coffee milk, coffee syrup you add to a glass of milk? Yummy.
I've never had that. Right now, I'm working on hot chocolate. If I don't spill it, there we go. Honey made me some hot chocolate, so I'm slurping hot chocolate. Plus, my sugar was a little low right before the stream, so I figured, well, I'll do hot chocolate. I'm kind of addicted to hot chocolate now. I didn't drink too much of it when I was young, but now that I got OLD, I seem to be drinking more hot chocolate.
You go through a big container.
Yeah, well, the big containers at Walmart, I could probably burn through that whole, it's like the gallon container, the round, probably in 2 weeks. If not 2 weeks, it'll be 3 weeks. I can burn through that whole container. That's a lot of hot chocolate. Yeah, it is a treat. For me, I view it as a treat. It's like my bedtime treat. I get a snack and a thing of hot cocoa, and I'm set to go.
Jupe was saying, you got such a treat. You got to try the coffee syrup that you add to a glass of milk.
Yeah, exactly. Now says, I dinged my Gibson about 2 months ago after I've dropped dropped a battery and put a dent in the. Oh my gosh. I'm assuming you mean you dropped a battery on it? Oh. I would cry.
He might have dropped like a double A or something.
Yeah. Most Gibsons aren't active, so you wasn't replacing the 9-volt battery in it, I don't think. Although you may have a Gibson with EMGs in it. You dropped the 9-volt on it and put a little ding in it. You're gonna ask yourself one question when you ding it. Did it hurt the sound? Yes. Once you you put a crack in that nitrocellulose finish, the sound of angels come out of the guitar because you've broken the shell on it, and now the guitar can breathe and it's just going to sing better. That's why those old Gibsons with the cracked nitrocellulose bodies, that's why they sell for so much money, because the angels just come out of the guitar and make it sing better.
He said he dropped a 2680 battery, a vape battery.
Oh. Darn. What's ours? Ours are 20.
I don't know. It's not written on these because you put new. Oh yeah, it is. It's 20.
It's 2650, isn't it?
2662.
Yeah, I think ours are 2650s.
You got 2662 wrote on here.
Right, 2652 is the milliamps that it was tested at.
2662.
Yeah. So 19. I don't remember what they are. What does the standard Tesla run? It's not the 80 millimeter. Well, just the regular vape batteries, whatever that is. It's an 1857. That's what it is. 1857. It stands for 18 millimeters by 57 millimeters. Yeah, 1857. Yeah, I think that's how it works. I have about, how many? We're down now. I'm going to guess I have
Niall said it might be the 18650.
18650. That's what it is. 18650. It's a lithium ion cell. I can go down and get one of my solar cells. I probably have. You guys are gonna laugh, especially you vapors. I probably have 10,000 18650s in my basement. If this house ever catches on fire, just run away, because they're never gonna put the fire out. I have a 16S 18650 battery bank, and I started building a secondary bank to double my storage capability, and I never finished it. So I think right now it's 16S, and I don't go up to 4.2 volts. So mine is set to go from 3.2 volts to 4 volts.
Niall said you can build a Tesla battery, LOL.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did, Niles. I pretty much built. It's got each cell is individually fused, so I actually need to finish working on that and get it all up and running. I should go down and take a picture of it and show you guys. Would freak out with all the batteries, all the Tesla batteries. That was one of my pastimes. I would sit and rewrap and solder 18650s. I did it for spare time, probably 4 straight years, testing. Like the OMS chargers, OPUS, the 3100 chargers, I have 10 of those. And each charger charges 4 batteries. So I would cycle every battery and then write the milliamps and the charge time and charge current, and I would classify every battery. And then I would group the batteries, because when you put 400 18650s together, you can't go, oh, it's a 3,000 milliamp battery. It may not hold that. This one might be 2750, this one might be 2950. So you charge them and discharge them 3 times. Then you write the average on the battery, and then when you build the battery, the total milliamps of all the cells together need to be very close. So that's why I have all the chargers. I would test them and then assemble the batteries. So I know we're off on a tangent, but I was really into the whole solar thing for a little while. Kind of got out of it. Got back into music. So now I'm really into the music, and I haven't really done too much with my solar stuff like I used to. Nah, Jerry, he was an inventor in coils. I don't know. I missed that conversation.
He's talking about Tesla.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Tesla invented a lot of things that you guys, the X-ray, the microwave, all kinds of stuff.
Jupe said, Avery, if your house catches fire, grab my Schecter on the way out.
Well, your Schecter's about 15 foot away from 10,000 18650 batteries. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, you know, when them things go thermal, they turn into little blowtorches. So, yeah. There wouldn't be anything in this house that would survive. Well, once those batteries go thermal, it's pretty bad. That's why there was a side of me that wanted to take the cells out and get these CalSam batteries, the pouch, the big pouch cells. But I've been hearing the bad horror stories about those batteries too, so I don't know. Jupe's like, oh no, laugh out loud. Well, I was just charging a battery in my vape and it fell out and hit my Gibby. Oh, that's awful.
He said he might have cried a little.
Yeah, I would have probably cried a little too if that would have happened to me. I'm pretty good now. Uh, I put a dent in my FFNN in the top. It's just a little dent. And I was so upset when I did that. But like this guitar, I play this guitar a lot. And I don't think I've put any dents in it yet. Not to my knowledge. I mean, it does have some hair line scratches like right through here from picking and playing. But that would all buff out. But there's really no dings or dents on it. And as it ages, I've noticed that the different colors of the wood have really started to show. You guys see that? Right here? It's a three-piece neck. So you this one doesn't show too much. It's the way the light is. So it's a dark piece, and the center piece is very light. So it's a three-piece neck. But the older the guitar gets, the more predominant those three pieces become. I don't know why that is. Maple, it's not around direct sunlight, so I know maple will get a little brown color, when it's in direct sunlight.
I said, well, it's funny. All my Firefly guitars are perfect, but my expensive guitars get a ding somehow.
Well, that's how it works. Uh-oh, she's laughing, so somebody made a funny. Yeah, Linnell's going to customize the Kramer. Actually, you know what, guys? We should play Linnell's guitar. We really should. Hold on for a second. I haven't played that guitar since we played it on that one live stream. Let's see if Linnell has kept the guitar in tune. Let's just see. She's giving me the look. She's laughing in the kitchen and giving me that look. So let's see how she's been practicing and whether or not she's been practicing in tune or not. This is probably going to be a train wreck. Let me get my headphones on here so I can actually hear. Let's see how bad it actually is. This will probably be a horrible experiment. Okay. Doesn't sound too bad. I'd say it's in pretty good tune. I'm sorry, guys. This Chapman, this thing rock. This guitar rock and rolls. I don't remember how it goes now. I can't remember it. That's twice I've messed it up. pulled it out of my butt that time. This Chapman is awesome, guys. This is a ML1 Pro. This is the Funny Honey's guitar. Awesome freaking guitar. If this thing had a Floyd Rose on it, she might have some issues. But since it doesn't have a Floyd Rose on it, you guys know me. I'm all about hair music, and I gotta have a Floyd Rose. But I do like this guitar. This thing is sweet. Sweet guitar. And I'm highly impressed. That means she's been actively tuning this guitar as she's learning. So that's a good thing. What do you guys think of the Chapman? Dean's got the guitar and the fire going. Now that does not mean that we're going to have a bidding war on the Chapman.
Oh no, they've
already started the bidding war on the Chapman.
No, they're not bidding, but they're talking about sending it to Juke until the Schecter's done and all.
Oh yeah, well Jupe, you've got to negotiate these terms before you send the guitar. I would have sent you the Chapman, as a hold instrument while we worked on the Schecter, but. Linnell said she was going to kick my if I did that. So, what Devastator says, Avery wears the pants and she zips the zipper. I'm pretty sure that was Devastator's line, and that's how it works here, guys.
When Jerry said, I think you should limit it to Juke until you're done with the Schecter, Jerry also said, never heard from Juke again. I came in and made a comment and said, you may never hear from him or Avery again.
That's right. Guys, a lot of times I have to go back and watch the live stream to get all the jokes that you guys tell. Sometimes I look over and I'm like, I'm sure that's funny, but I don't know where it's coming from. And I go back and I look and I'm like, you guys are just carrying on talking about stuff, and I can't even keep track of it. Some nights it goes, you guys go down the rabbit hole on some of the things, and I'm like, okay. And that's what it's about, guys. I just like coming in here. For me, this is an unwind. All week at work, and then we come in here and we unwind. Now we take a night off on Friday nights, but then we come and hang out again on Saturday night. So I really do look forward to it. I was actually kind of tired before we started the live stream, but once I got going and started talking and gotten the rhythm down, you kind of get like your second wind, if that makes sense.
Jerry wants to know if that guitar is light.
If the Chapman is light,
yeah.
We can weigh it, guys. That's the best way of finding out what the weight of the Chapman is. So let's weigh the Chapman. We've got our handy dandy little scale here. We're going to get our stool. Let's put the stool right here. Turn the scale on, make sure it's zeroed. We're going to put it on pound ounces. Let's see what the Chapman weighs. The Chapman weighs... Okay, hold on. That way you guys can see it. Change cameras. £7, 2.5 ounces. I would say that's pretty sweet. So it's definitely a light guitar. I mean, and it feels it. And the guitar is well balanced. See? When I sit here, it doesn't neck dive. It's not going this way or this way. It just sits there. It's a well balanced guitar. Another way you can tell when you grab the guitar right here, it doesn't feel like it's going to go this way or this way on me. It's well balanced. It's a solid instrument. I may have to look into another Chapman or something. But I like this one, that's for sure. This one says ML1 Pro Modern Chapman guitars. Pretty sharp. I like the finish on it. It goes purple, then kind of blue. The lights just don't really do it justice in here. There it goes. Kind of goes purple. It has some green in it too. When the sunshine comes through the windows, I'll see like a green stripe on this little ridge here, and then like purple with the blue. I can't really get the green to pop out with these studio lights. There's a little bit there at the bottom, the green.
There's also like a copper looking bronze color too.
Yeah, it'll do a copper bronze color too. See right there on the main part of the body, it gets like a green hue to it.
You can, if you flip, you could see the bronze color. Yeah, when you have it like, well, you're a few seconds behind, but you can kind of see the bronzy color.
It's sharp how it changes color. The purple bronze kinda. I like it. That's what I really, the finish on the guitar kicks butt. I think I told everybody the story. We were in the guitar store, and that was Ron's guitar. He's been in the chat before. He's from the Winchester area, and I believe it was not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before last. He was in the chat again, and he said that he had traded the guitar in, and they said, "What do you want to see?" I'm like, "Well, I've never seen a Chapman." So they brought the guitar out, and I tinkered with it. I'm like, "Man, this is a nice guitar." And I handed it back to the girl, and Linnell leans down. She goes, "I want that guitar." I was like, "What?" And she goes, "I want that guitar." And I'm like, "Okay." You know, I really didn't go in there to buy a guitar. She just saw it and just got asphyxiated. It's like, "Ooh, I like that color." And I think it was the color that got her on it. I like it's almost like a Telecaster headstock that's reversed. I think that's cool on it. I like that. It's a cool guitar. I like the little Infinity logo on the 12th. There's a lot of little cool details on that guitar. I think Chapman has changed manufacturers though. I think the new ones are being made in India now. So supposedly the new guitars are of higher quality than these, but the quality on this guitar is great. I mean, I don't see any flaws or finish issues with it at all. It's a well thought out and well crafted guitar. It doesn't say where it's actually made, so I don't know where those were made. If it was made in Korea, Indonesia, or China, I don't know where the Chapmans were made. I would probably say it was Indonesia or Korea, would be my guess. If anybody knows, you can post in the chat or post down below where originally these particular Chapmans were made. I don't know. She says, yes, Shenandoah. So I guess you're talking, yeah, she bought it at Shenandoah Music. It was a trade-in.
Yeah, Jupe asked where did you get it from?
Yeah, they were going to ask more for it again, since we get a lot of stuff there, and they didn't do anything to it. They literally traded it in. It was in the back. They hadn't put strings on it, done a setup on it, or cleaned it up. So they just rolled it right over to me. Instead of doing all the setup stuff and all that on it, they said, here, just, we don't have to set it up. They made a little bit, and I got it cheaper. So it worked for everybody. Plus, Ron got a little extra off the guitar. Or what did he buy? He bought something. He traded in like 3 different guitars to get something. I forget what he got. I don't know if he's in the chat tonight or not, or he would have already said something if he was. He's got is it a Bugera?
Yeah, I think so.
He's got if anyone wants a Bugera head, it's I think a 50-watt Bugera head, and he's got a 212 cabinet, and he's selling it really cheap.
Well, that might only be to you.
Well, it might not. Well, if someone wants it, I can get it. I know it was some ridiculously low price that he was selling it for. And the Bagheera stuff isn't bad stuff. They're nice amps. I did not recognize the brand of the 412 cabinet. I can't remember what it was, but I didn't recognize the brand. But the head itself sells for 3 times what he was asking for both. So I was like, I told him I wanted it. And he made a comment in the stream, just give me a t-shirt and I'll give you the amp. I'm sitting there going, there's got to be something wrong with this amplifier. I don't know. I haven't played it. I just saw a picture of it. I don't know. It's a Bugera. Oh, Jupe said if I paid for it, then it doesn't work that way, Jupe. We all, everybody here shares. It's not, it doesn't. Yeah, we're pretty good about that, if that makes sense.
He said, "Whoops! I keep forgetting my guitars in his home."
Yep. Yeah, we all do our job here, if that makes sense. So, as long as everybody's doing their job, then it's everybody's money. That's how. I was pretty stubborn and pretty, typical young man. Didn't understand how the world worked. Didn't understand how women work. And some would say that I still don't understand how women work. But I think I've gotten a lot better, and I know I know what you have to do to make a relationship work. And it's about always remembering that you love somebody, always treat them the way you would like to be treated, and always show them respect, And when they're sick, try to take care of them. Because when you get sick, it's nice that someone takes care of you. So I think if you do those things, you should be pretty good. And that doesn't mean that we're always good at it. That just means that's what we're shooting for. We're going to shoot to do these things for our relationship. And you should be in pretty good shape. It's having the ability to say, no, I'm not going to do that because she needs something, or she needs to say, no, I'm not going to do that because he wants something or needs something. So as long as you can give and take, I think you'll be fine.
Juke said, and always buy them guitars when they want.
I don't think she's ever said that I couldn't. She may have looked at me when I said, ooh, it's going to be tight, but I did it anyway, and it was tight and we were a little short. She might have went, mm-hmm, but she never really, she doesn't really say anything about that. I'm sure there's been times where she was like, yeah, this done did that, and he knows we're going to be short next month. I'm sure that's happened. But sometimes we got to learn how to, and just let it go. Just how it is. It's how it is, guys. Uh-oh, the standards are made in the UK.
I don't know what they're talking about.
My hot chocolate got cold. And now I got cold chocolate.
Ew. Frozen hot chocolate's good.
It's not frozen.
You want me to warm it up?
No, I just drank it cold. That was pretty good, though. I like hot chocolate whether it's room temperature or whether it's hot. It's better when it's... She was just saying you could freeze hot chocolate. Well, wouldn't it be a popsicle or something if you freeze it?
It's like
I'm just saying, you put a stick in it and you freeze it, you pull it out, you got a hot chocolate popsicle. I don't know. You put it in the microwave, turns back into a hot chocolate. I don't know. I don't know. I'm being silly at this point. Oh, Niles, my wife is laughing because you just described me. Yeah, I think we all get to a certain point where we figure things out. And if you don't figure things out, then I'd say you pretty much you end up having a hard life. And I think that's just us being stubborn, if that makes sense.
Honey Chap said his hot chocolate turned vanilla.
His hot chocolate turned vanilla. Hey, as long as your hot chocolate doesn't turn into penicillin, you're okay.
Oh God.
When it sets out that long and it turns green, they make penicillin out of it. That's probably not a good thing. Sounds like a Wendy's Frosty to me. Hey, I do like Wendy Frosties. They're strawberry ones. The strawberry pieces are too thick and they get hung up in the straw, and you're sitting there trying to suck the strawberry through the straw, and all you've done is destroyed the straw. Because now you've got the strawberry stuck halfway through the straw, and you can't blow it out or suck it through, so you're screwed. You just throw the straw away and go get another straw.
Jerry wants to know if the Chapman is a pro.
Yes, it's an ML1 Pro. That's what that guitar is. Yep, it's an ML1 Pro. I think they only made that guitar 1 year.
Honey Tap said his penicillin turned into Metamucil.
Ha! Oh my gosh. Penicillin into Metamucil. That's awful. That doesn't even sound good. Oh, that's just awful. All right, guys, you know what time it is. I hate to say it, but it is restroom break time. So we're going to take a 5-minute recess. And if you're familiar with the channel, you're going to be familiar. I only have 2 screens. And I think this is my first break scene. The chat window will continue to operate. So go fill up your tea, your beer, your hot chocolate, whatever you guys, your beverage of choice. Get some vittles, as they say in the UK. And we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Oh, sorry, we can't use that one because it says Saturday night intermission. And everyone knows this is Thursday night. So we can't use that one. We're at the switch. We'll go with this one. I think I can move the camera just a little bit more. Let me shift the camera, guys. There we go. So before I get too far along, let me switch here. I want to go over something that was talked about in one of the comment sections. I believe Jerry talked that he wanted to go over cleaning electronics. Now, back, if you guys remember a store called Radio Shack, I used to get what was called TV tuner cleaner at Radio Shack. I used that stuff for a couple years. I actually think that stuff actually destroys your potentiometers. So I wouldn't advise using TV tuner cleaner to spray in your potentiometers. I've been using this Deoxit Gold 5G. And this is a lubricant and a cleaner. Yes, this stuff is expensive, but I've yet to destroy a potentiometer using this. And I did destroy a couple potentiometers using TV tuner cleaner. So this is Deoxit Gold G5. And it comes with this nice little nozzle. And you can get in there and shoot your electronics. It's good for switches, good for your potentiometers. On your jacks, all you need is a bristle brush. It almost looks like a pipe cleaning brush, but it's bigger around. Spray your inside of your jack and just run that bristle brush back across the contacts of the jack, and that'll clean that up. Shoot that in the hole of the potentiometer, move the potentiometer back and forth, pull your push-pull if it has it, and you're good to go. I've had great success with this stuff. I mean, that's about all there is to like cleaning electronics. Now, you can get in there if they used a lot of flux. You know, some manufacturers back in the day used flux before flux pens, and that flux will start to corrode on the top of the pots. You can get in there and scrape some of that off, and you can take baking soda and water, and that'll neutralize the acid in the flux. You don't want to use too much, just a little bit on the toothbrush, damp, and go over your solder placements and then wipe it down, spray it with some Deoxit, and that'll prevent that flux from corroding the potentiometers. It just neutralizes the acid. That's all the baking soda does, and it takes very little. Don't overkill it, because if it gets down in the pot, it can, you just want to get it on the top right where they fluxed it. And usually that's on older guitars. The newer guitars, they use flux pens, and it's not near as corrosive, and as soon as it gets hot, it evaporates off. So the new guitars really don't have a problem with that. I would say maybe late 80s and older. You may have to do a little bit of cleaning with the flux on the potentiometers. That's about all there is to cleaning the electronics. It's actually really simple. If you got scratchy pots, by damn. Now, in my case of my power amp, they're past being clean. If you clean it and it only cleans up for maybe a week or two and it goes back to and it starts losing positions, the traces and the carbon track in the pot has went bad. So you have to replace the pot. And the carbon does wear off. The cheaper the potentiometer, the less carbon is on the track. And once the arm goes across it so many times, it erodes out of carbon away, it's done. It's done for. Usually when you spray it, it might work for a day or two, and that's due to the lubricant acting as a contact surface, because the carbon's no longer there. But if it starts doing it right away within 3 or 4 days, the potentiometer's bad, the carbon track's bad, you got to replace the pot. So if you're constantly cleaning it, it might be time to replace the pot. All I see is Devastator. Avery has a picture of it on his Skype.
He's talking about
TRS-SE.
Devastator's PRS SE.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I don't have Skype up, guys. Hold on here for a second. Let me pull Skype up. Skype. And everyone knows Skype's going to be disappearing here soon. Up, and it's popped up. Start using Teams. So I'm going to click the button, and we're going to see. Downloading Microsoft Teams. It still says Skype. Still says Skype, so I'm gonna click on this. Where are we looking for the PRS?
Yeah. PRS SE.
The PRS SE.
Says it's got
PRS SE.
Fishman pickups in it.
Welcome to. It keeps popping up Teams now. Yep. All right, guys, hold on. I'm going to go back to OBS, and we're going to go to display screen. And, of course, now it wants to constantly pop up. So there's the PRS SE that Devastator's talking about. SE, PRS. And there's the squirrel. So go back to main screen. So I don't know what you guys were talking about. I just showed the Devastator's PRS there.
I think him and Jackie were talking about it.
Yep. I aim to please. I thought it was corrosion in the switch, but it's loose in the center position. I walked away from the LP before I got the Pete Townsend treatment. Yeah, those type switches, like the LP switches, I hate to say it, just spend the extra money and get a Switchcraft. A good three-way position switch like that is about $23. The cheap ones just don't. These new three-way switches that look like the Switchcraft ones, they just don't hold up. They flop around. They're not very tight, and it's usually the center position will just kind of flop. That's usually the first position that gets funny on them, is the center position. Yeah, Honey Tap's like, I would like to try a PRS. Never played one. I bought one at Guitar Center, a used one. And I brought it home and I played it one night. And I took it back the next day, didn't we?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we took it back the very next day. And it had nothing to do with the guitar not being nice. It had everything to do with I shouldn't have spent the $550 on the guitar. So we just went back and got a refund. Well, we had other things that we really needed to do. But it was a nice guitar. I still want one. I would like they actually make an import PRS with a Floyd Rose. They only have it in one color. It used to be like a charcoal and black. Very nice guitar. I think it's like $1,200 for the import version with the Floyd. Yeah, the squirrel empowers me. That's true, Jerry. Yeah, I bought it used, but it was in good shape, and it played fantastic. But I've really never picked up a Paul Reed Smith at Guitar Center. Guitar Center sells them. Every one I've always picked up plays nice. They just have a good feel to them. That's another company that just has it down. They've got the spec of the guitar down. They know what works, and that's what they're making. They're good, solid instruments. Like I said, I haven't played one that I didn't like. If you want and get on Reverb and type in Paul Reed Smith Mirror or Mirror, or yeah, it's called a Mirror, I believe. That was a good guitar. They no longer make it.
Devastator said his was 750 used from Guitar Center.
Oh, is yours? Yeah, it's an SE. Yeah, I can believe that. Well, when we get that about a little over a year ago,
Yeah.
and that's the market was just flooded with used guitars, and it's right now it's not really flooded with used guitars. It's flooded with new guitars. So the market still really hasn't bounced back. The guitar market's still kind of all over the place. And if you were smart, I think it was last year Paul Reed Smith blew out guitars. They made too many guitars and they just had inventory sitting everywhere. So they went to all their vendors and said, "Look, we'll give you a kickback if you just blow out all these Paul Reed Smiths." And they were taking $300, $400, $500 off $1,400 instruments. You could have got one of the SEs for $500, $550 new when they did that. It only lasted for about a month and a half or 2 months, and people just jumped on them because they were just ridiculously cheap. The smart companies, I feel, did that. Fender didn't. Fender is still selling some of their 40th anniversary, some of their Player 2, their Vertura, or wherever the thing is. They just overbuilt. And those guitars are just sitting there. They're going to have to discount them out they got to get rid of all that stock. And that's what's happened to Gibson too. Gibson just crank. And you're starting to see it. A lot of these vendors now, these $2,700 studio Les Pauls, they're letting them go for $2,100, $2,200 for a $2,800 guitar. I've seen 3 places this week just tooling around on the internet. Les Paul Studio, Archtop, $2,100. I mean, that's. I'm not gonna say it's cheap, but it's cheap for a Gibson Studio. It's not a tribute. It's not the other one. I mean, it's a nice Les Paul. It's a $2,800 Les Paul. But they made too many of them, so they got 2023s and 2024 models still sitting around on showroom floors. These Sweetwater's loaded with them. If you look at some of the Les Pauls on Sweetwater, they only have room for 6 pictures. And if you write down all the weights and the model numbers, come back 2 weeks later, there'll still be 6, and I guarantee you 4 of them will be new model numbers. And they just never go out of stock. It's like they're just rolling through the inventory. They made too many of them. It's crazy. The lemon burst, the bourbon burst. They've got so many different finishes and so many different little changes that they made to the Les Paul. It's a Les Paul. They probably make 15 versions of it, okay? And then they probably have 5 or 6 colors of each version. So there's a lot of them out there. If you want a Les Paul, like I'm sure I could call Sweetwater. The Les Paul I want is like $2,700. I'm sure if I caught them, I could probably get 15% off, maybe 20% off a P90 Les Paul. I don't know. I didn't buy that much last year off of them, but I've spent quite a bit of money at Sweetwater over the last 4 years. So they might. I'm pretty sure I could get 15% off of Gibson. I don't know if they would do 20, but I could probably do 15%. So that would be 150, 300. That would be $400 and some off. I mean, I could do that. Bogler burst. Huh?
It's a booger.
Booger burst. Don't know that color. Be green and slimy. They call it lizard burger burst. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't. If Devastator's talking about the custom shop, I see he's got custom up there. Anything Gibson Custom or Murphy's Lab, it's just ridiculously priced. Yeah, you can't buy it.
Honeytop asked him which SE he had, and he said custom.
Oh, custom SE. Yeah, like I said, the PRS is good stuff. You know, Honeytop, you just need to go somewhere that sells them, take a drive, and go play one. I don't think you're a big tremolo user anyway. The stock bridge works. Yeah, I mean, it's not a Floyd Rose. You're not going to push the bar down to the body. But if we're doing little flutters and little bends and little stuff, it's a solid bridge. There's nothing wrong with it.
Jupe says Kiesel has a finish called Lizard Burst.
Yeah, I've seen the Kiesel Lizard Burst. You know, when the Kiesel had that sale, we were thinking about ordering one. That's a guitar I think I would like to try to order. But I don't know, guys. I'm almost to the point where I have pretty much every versatile guitar that I technically need. At this point, it just becomes, if I get something new, it's just because maybe I want a little bit different flavor or a different color or a different take on a Super Strat. But I pretty much have everything covered. When I get the Rev Star and I do the P90 conversion on it, I'll have that guitar, and then when I finish the guitar downstairs, the double cut with the P90s, I'll have the P90 covered. I got the single coil thing covered. I've got the dual humbucker thing covered. I got the single humbucker Super Strat thing covered. I really have pretty much everything I technically need. So like I say, it would just be rotating out the herd as I want something new.
Honeytop said I prefer a fixed bridge or a 2-point trim.
Yeah, that white Firefly that I reviewed, believe it or not, that ash white body, that was the best 2-point tremolo with a non-locking bridge that I think I've played in a long time. That guitar just stayed in tune. It was stupid good at staying in tune. I was pretty aggressive on the bar too. If you go back and watch that video, I was pretty aggressive with that tremolo, and I didn't have any problems at all with that that guitar at all. The only issue I have with that guitar, the White Ash Firefly that I reviewed, it's heavy. That's a heavy guitar. I forget what it weighed, but I know it's heavy. And I'm liking the lighter guitars. I don't know what this Kramer weighs.
Penagor said when my daughter was an infant, I saw all the booger bursts I cared to see in a lifetime.
Oh, that's right. That, and when you're burping them on your right here, and they just have their bottle and they throw up all over your back, that's a fun one too, because whatever's in that throw up, it takes the color right out of your clothes. So wear white t-shirts if you have a newborn and you're burping them, because if you got anything with color, whatever that acid is in their stomach, it just takes the color right out of your shirts. I learned that the hard way. Believe me, that was awful. I'm like, it's like lizard acid down in this kid's tummy. Oh, Penagor. When my daughter was, yeah, that's it. I like the fade finishes. Yeah, the only finish that I'm not really, I don't know if you all have seen the real bright, where it goes from red to orange to yellow. I mean, I get it, it's cool, but it doesn't do much for me. If that's the kind of fade you're talking about. I do like the more muted faded colors, but that one where it goes red, orange, yellow, that's a bit different. I don't really care for that one too much. Not a big fan of that. The Firefly FFST also has a great 2-point trim and is extremely heavy. Yeah, that's what I was just saying, Honey Tap. Let me see if I've got. I think that guitar is back here in the case.
There's no guitar back there, is there?
I think it's in this case. Let me see.
Is that the case for my guitar?
Yes, this is the case to your guitar. I put the Firefly in. I'm repurposing your case.
I noticed.
This is a great guitar, guys. If this is the one you're talking about, Honey Tap, the tremolo on this thing works really well.
That Honey Tap has the same guitar apparently.
Tremolo works really well. Let me see if it's in tune. This guitar has not been played since the review. So the review was like 2 months ago. And it has the factory strings. And everyone knows Firefly has great factory strings.
Devastator said, Avery, you like obnoxious guitars. I just sent you a picture of May's bass I bought her. It's bright and obnoxious.
Okay, 1 second here, and we'll go back to Skype and we'll check that thing out. So here it is. it it just stays in tune. This is probably as far as all in all, out of the box, the best Firefly that I've ever received.
Honeytub said the one he was talking about is a different model, but he has that one also.
Yeah, this one's the best one I've ever received from them. Devastator has one of the good ones that I got. This one is exactly like Devastator's as far as the fit and finish. Fit and finish, great on it. I'm going to say the pickups on this one, though, are just a little bit better. They made a change. I know these are Nico 5s that are in this one, but it just, the stock pickups aren't that bad. If you really gain them hard, they start to get a little muddy, but just doing this is about as much as you'd want to put on them as far as gain. Yes, dear.
Juke wants to know if that's for sale. If so, what's the price?
Yeah, it was reviewed. It's for sale. Whatever it was. This is only the second or third time the guitar's ever been played. I buy them, review them, and then let them go. I want to say this guitar was $229, something like that. So like $230. And you do the shipping. I'll eat the first shipping if you pay the shipping wherever you're at. This is a great guitar. I love this thing. It's just a. Still working on that, guys. Missed that completely. I was hitting the D, shooting for the B. It just, for a non-locking tremolo, this guitar really impressed me. When I did the review, I said that a couple times. Really a stupid good guitar from them. You know, Firefly, when they nail it, they nailed this one. Just like they nailed the purple and black regular Stratocaster. They nailed the Les Paul one too. It was a Les Paul with this figure. They nailed that one. They need to stick to those models. Offer these models in a couple different colors. There's no budget guitar that would touch them. But what they do is they make this one, they make 100 of them, and then they don't sell them for another year. They'll come out with one that looks like it. It won't have the same finish, won't have the same pickups. It'll be a burst. They'll stick a cheap Floyd Rose on it, like the one I have downstairs, and it'll just be a horrible guitar. And then a year later, they'll come back out with, 100 of these. It's like, well, why didn't you just make this guitar? Just make this guitar. This guitar will sell. But that's the problem. Firefly, they make this for a little while, and then they go, oh, we made an FST again. It's not the same guitar. They'll do something. They'll put different pickups in it. They'll put different tuners on it. They'll do something to screw it up. They always do. That's the thing with Firefly.
Jip said he's going to email you about it. He's interested.
Okay, yeah. Great, man. That frees up money for other stuff for the channel. But this is an awesome little guitar. Missed it. I love that little stupid E trick. If you guys don't know the E, hit the E. Come back in. Bring up on your high note. It gives a little, you're not just hitting the open, because just the open, like, you're adding that fifth. Just gives it a cool ring. I'm playing sloppy tonight. There it is. Yep. It's a good way of ending when you're nice pull. And you can do the exact same thing. You can pull that back and accent this way. Cool little, nothing I'm doing, guys, is complicated. It's all simple stuff. Believe me, it's simple. The funny honey come out, so it must be something important. Let me take these things off. Yes, dear.
Jerry sent you a picture of a strap.
Oh, Jerry sent me a picture of a strap. All right, guys, hold on here. Stay across, allow. Ben, 2 new ones.
Jerry sent you a strap picture too.
Jerry sent me a strap picture. I do not have anything from Jerry yet. Sometimes Jerry's Skype can take a little bit. I do not have the picture yet. I'll double check back here in a couple minutes and see if it appears. But yeah, send me an email on this guy. It's an awesome little guitar.
Jib already said I'm gonna buy it.
It's got a really dark roasted maple neck. Locking tuners. Like I said, the only thing about this guitar, Jupe, is its weight. It's solid ash. It's solid swamp ash.
Jackie's gotta go.
Okay, Jackie. Man, Jackie, just so you know, I appreciate you coming each week and hanging out with us. I think I say it, people that don't stay to the end of the stream, without you guys coming, the stream wouldn't be possible. And without you all talking and interacting, the stream would be boring. So I just want to say thank you for coming and hanging out with us, man. It's good to see the similar people coming back each week. And, do the channel a favor, tell other people about the stream. The more people that come in and can chat and hang out and tell stories, that's what it's about. This is the new, I guess, guitar room where we go and hang out. So the more the merrier. Yeah, honey tap, I don't know. I always considered this swamp ash. When you get this heavy grain, And that doesn't mean it's U.S. All swamp ash means it's an ash tree that grew in a high moisture environment, soil that is saturated pretty much, and that's what'll give ash that real dark inset grain, if that makes sense. Regular ash has a very tight grain. Swamp ash, it'll be a looser grain, and that looser grain is usually due to moisture. The tree is not starving for water by any means, so they call it swamp ash. And that's what this kind of looks like. It's got a real heavy grain pattern. It's a little thicker than regular ash. I am working on my chicken picking, but I suck at chicken picking. So until I can chicken pick a little bit better, see, I can't. I'm still struggling with my pinky. And I'm missing the B. I keep hitting the D instead of the B. So I am working on it, guys. I know what kind of a guitar player I am. I'll probably never be a great chicken picker, but if I could just do some simple things. Here we go. I won't say it's chicken picking, but if you want something a little less heavy. Let me see here. Let me go over here. Let's cut this off. Let's cut this off. Let's cut that off. Here you go. Got a lot of delay. Ooh, I think this thing has single coil. And it has single coils. Okay, you ready? No comment? Really? Alright, it's close. This is the clean sound. Go up to our neck position. Shit. Always get that modified F wrong. think it's got a good sound. That's the neck. This is center position. And then bridge. And this is all single coil. I have the pot pulled. Now if I push it in, go to humbucker. Then the center position humbucker. Then when you pull it, neck humbucker. Then split. So it gets that thin. I think the split sounds good in this guitar. And then of course the humbucker is a lot fuller sounding. I'm going to work on that pong part. But there's the guitar. Pretty cool guitar. Let me get these headphones off. The China ash is great. A very musical wood in my own opinion. Just heavy. Well, all ash is heavy. Ash is a dense wood. It doesn't matter. Ash is just dense. Mahogany can be the same way, but the advantage to mahogany, you can do select mahogany, and you can go through your mahogany and you can find less dense mahogany. Sorry guys, been a long day, but you can take one board foot of mahogany, have 5 or 6 different pieces. One board foot can vary 20 ounces in weight. Just in mahogany, and exactly one board foot of material. It can be 20 ounces difference, if not more. I work with a lot of mahogany. As soon as you pick it up on the timber, you're like, ooh, this is a dense one. And then some of them you think it's going to be dense, and you pick it up, and it's like, whoa, this is a light one. So that's why some Gibsons, shoot up into like 9.5 pounds, and you might get lucky, and you might get one right at 8. It's just the luck of the draw with the mahogany. Put this guy back in the case here.
You have to let Juke know that case don't go.
Oh yeah, Juke, just so you know, the case don't go with it. That's Linnell's guitar case. But since she's been playing her guitar, I needed a home for that one, so I stuck the Firefly in her guitar case.
Juke said he just sent you an email.
Okay, I'll look at it before I retire this evening. We'll look at the email. I think I chased some people away with my goofing off on the guitar. Well, I'm watching the viewer count, and sometimes the viewer count goes up when I'm playing, and then other times it'll go from 16 down to like 11. It's like, oh, this guy's horrible. Click, 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 and they click out.
You gotta realize it's 20 minutes after 10 too.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is getting late, too. Wonder when they buy their wood from. You know, a lot of the China stuff, believe it or not, comes from here. What's sad is we import a lot of stuff over there. We import a lot of our product for nothing, and then they manufacture it and send it back to us. Uh, Canada sends them a lot of wood too. Same with us. But they're starting, ever since that whole rosewood debacle, they are starting to use more locally grown materials over there. I forget what that one body wood is. It's really soft. Ipe or something. Whatever that real soft light body wood is they use on the really inexpensive guitars. That stuff is too light. You can put a shim in the neck pocket, and when you tighten up the screws, you can bring the neck back flat. Because if the shim is just a little shim and doesn't cover the whole neck bottom, it literally crushes it right into the body. So the only way you can shim the really cheap guitars with the real light wood, you have to use the Stumac shim that covers the whole plate, the whole bottom part of the seat, and it goes from paper thin to thick on one side. You can get them like 0.5, 1 degree. If you don't put that in it, and you just put like something a half inch by inch and a half wide, it will actually compress it into the guitar body. If you tighten it up, come back 2 weeks later, take the neck off, the shim will be flush inside the seat pocket of the guitar. It's already crushed the wood fibers down, especially if you use a hardwood shim. It's not good material. I don't know if that's Ipe or what that stuff is, but it's like balsa. That's the best way it's like made out of balsa wood. It's very cheap. It's a setup.
Yeah, Jupe said no problem, just send Linnell's case. And then I said no, and then I said, well, wait, if he sends that case, then I can get a hard case maybe. And Devastator said it's a setup.
I'll look around and see if I've got another bag. I don't think I do. I'm not a big bag person, but
I mean, if we can get a hard case for mine, you can send mine to him.
well, she said we can get a hard case for her guitar and we can send you that one. So maybe this weekend we can take the guitar over to Shenandoah and see if they have a hard case that'll fit it.
Check your Skype again for Jerry's picture.
Okay. It says 1, so yep, I got it now. All right, guys, hold on here.
He said there should also be a pic of a pick guard that he's thinking of changing to.
Yep, I gotcha. So there's the guitar. Yeah, that's the green strap.
Yeah, he was talking about the strap.
Is that a Firefly, Jerry? That looks like a Firefly.
He was just talking about the strap.
And then here's a wild-looking pickguard. I think that's a Firefly guitar. Yeah, that strap's going to be comfy. I can see it's really padded and it's wide. That's going to be a comfy strap.
I like that pick guard.
You like the pickguard? Linnell says she likes the pickguard. That would look cool on there with the black and green. That's going to be cool looking. Yeah, that'll look cool. Let me go back to the chat and see if he said if that's a Firefly or not.
No, he hasn't said anything yet.
Yep. All right, guys, I think I'm going to call it a night. I know this is going to be one of our shorter streams, but it's still about 30 minutes longer than the longest stream that usually does on YouTube. This week, I had a hard week. I've been working mahogany all week, and I had a bunch of radius work that I had to do, and I've been pushing material through shapers all week, and my arms are sore, and no excuses, but it's been a hard week for me this week. Ran a lot of mahogany and done a lot of high end curve work, a lot of arch work, and that takes a long time.
Jerry said yes, sir, so it must be a firefly.
Yep. It looks like I did the purple and black Firefly, and believe it or not, Jerry, I did a complete setup on that, and Devastator has that guitar now. So if that's the same model, you can make that guitar play like nobody's business. That's a good bass guitar, believe me. Ask Devastator, his plays awesome. I did a complete overhaul on that guitar. There's a video thing on it what I did to it. That guitar is very capable of being a great, phenomenal playing guitar. I mean, truly, it can be a good guitar. All right, I see we still got 13 people in the chat. So again, I want to thank everyone that hung out, during the whole live stream. Hopefully, I didn't make too many mistakes. It seems like each week I get the flow of things a little bit better, and it seems to be going a little bit better for me each week as far as what buttons and stuff to hit. I do try to make it better each week for you guys, and of course, again, this wouldn't be possible without you guys coming here and chatting and joining in and just helping out. I mean, all the topics and everything that went over tonight, that's you guys. The only thing I came with was the deoxit because Jerry had brought that up earlier, and I was like, okay, I'll go downstairs, we'll talk about the deoxit, and didn't even get to that until way past middle way through the stream. So we just kind of went with the flow and talked about everything tonight.
Jerry said you reviewed the purple black one and he ordered the green black the next day.
Yeah, that's an awesome guitar. Devastator has that guitar now, Jerry. So, but it's got a good home. Good home. All right, guys. Again, we're going to do the 5-minute chat thing at the end of the video. I do that so you guys can finish up whatever conversations that you all have going on. I don't think any other channel does that. And I'll keep doing it until you guys say, hey, it's kind of pointless. The stream's over. But I always thought it's nice just in case there are conversations going on and the stream doesn't just end and leave you guys hanging. It gives you 5 minutes to finish up talking about what you're talking about, and I think it's kind of cool.
Jupe said he'll send strings, 9s. Will you put them on and add the cost?
On the Firefly?
I believe so, on the ash one.
Okay, well I'll get with you on the email. There's no sense in you sending them to me. If you want super slinkies, I'll just go down on the. You've got super slinkies here. I can put a set that you already sent me on it. And I can get another set of super slinkies at the store this weekend or something. It's no big deal. All right, guys, we're going to switch over to the ending now. And then I'm going to go read some emails before bed and then watch the stream for a little bit before bedtime. And again, I want to thank everyone that participates. You guys are great.